You're listening to The Sports Moment, January 5th, 2024. Part of the Sports Moments and Memories with Craig Olson podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a sports moment. Sponsored by Lake Area Docks and Lifts. Here's Craig.
Lots of great sports moments from a very busy Thursday night around the area, and we're going to get right into it, talking first about the Otter Girls Hockey team. They were at River Lakes last night, and Anna Jerkis, who shut out River Lakes at home earlier this year, shut them out again. She stopped all 32 shots that she faced, and the Otters got goals in the first period from Aubrey Nelson and in the third period from Avery Tonneson to get the victory. Hannah Johnson and Brooke Zierden earned assists in that game. Good win for the Otter Girls Hockey team. Now they go to Bemidji for a Saturday afternoon contest. That'll be a good test as well. The Otter Girls Basketball team had a good night in St. Cloud. Bryn Sternberg with a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Hattie Fullhart added 19, and the Otters beat St. Cloud 65-54. West Central area at home rallied for a win in the second half after struggling in the first half. They really put it together over the last 18 minutes and beat Osakis 54-38. Macy Gross had 20 in that one. Holly knocked off DGF 69-61. Pelican Rapids goes to 10-0. What a great start for Brian Korf's girls, and Morgan Korf had 26 points and 9 rebounds last night, and Ellie Welch had a double-double for the Vikings in that 64-57 win over the Barnesville Trojans. Perham was victorious over Breckenridge 65-50 in girls basketball. On the boys basketball front, Gavin Pausch has been hot for the Underwood Rockets. He had a double-double last night, 16 points, 12 rebounds, as the Rockets beat Battle Lake by a score of 71-47. Also, Brandon Evansville won at Rothsay 62-57. It was Hancock over Parker's Prairie 75-63. Easton Nelson poured in 21. Jake Norby had 19 as Ashby won at home against Border West 67-56. The Comets of Hillcrest shutting down Lake Park Audubon held them to 26 points. And Noah Brumfield, according to Coach Ryan Garvin, played his best defensive game of the year. He also did okay offensively with 31 points. It was West Central area beating Barnesville 77-64. Ben Bai led the way for Craig Hunter's Knights. He had 21 points and 8 rebounds, and then Cam Anderson had 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Mitch Dewey also had 19 for the Knights. Very balanced attack, good win over the Trojans. It was DGF 54, Holly 45. Kale Missigatis had 28 points, and Lane Dilley registered a double-double with 10 points and 16 rebounds, leading Henning past Wadena Deer Creek 67-55. Dilley also had 5 assists in that one. And it was Pillager beating New York Mills 54-34. Bertha Hewitt knocked off Sabika 69-63. Well, Lake Area Docks and Lifts is one of our sponsors of our podcast, and they do have 5 locations in Minnesota. You can check out their boat show booths if you're going to be at the Minneapolis Convention Center or the Fargo Dome boat shows in January. They'll have booths set up there. Boat show discount promotions are effective now, so you can save money before spring with Lake Area Docks and Lifts. Well, it was a great sports moment for Ella Knutson on Tuesday night up in Twin Valley. The sophomore for Hillcrest Lutheran Academy set a school record for girls basketball single-game scoring when she scored 35 points in the Comets' victory over Norman County East Ulen Hitterdal. And I talked with Hannah Clark about how Ella has become more effective as a shooter.
It really has. She's become a real consistent shooter on the outside, and I think what made it so fun on Tuesdays, it wasn't just a game where we were blowing a team out of the water or anything like that. It was she really showed in how many ways she can score, and she really put the team on her back when we needed baskets, and she found a way to do it. So it was meaningful for her because we won. She doesn't really care her stats or how she does as long as the team wins. And Tuesday night, the way to win was to get the ball in her hands, and she just took over. It was really fun to see.
And I did ask Ella where she was getting all her points in Twin Valley.
I think most of mine were in the paint, lots of bunny shots, and just from good transition. I did have a few threes, but most of my points were probably 2-pointers.
It was a great night. 35 points for Ella, and her team found her consistently. And she has really improved her three-point shooting from previous years, and that has made her even more dynamic offensively. She had a triple-double earlier this year with double-digit points, rebounds, and steals, and is effective all over the court. And scoring isn't the only thing that Ella Knutson does. She had a triple-double earlier this year, as we mentioned, and Hannah Clark just says that really the sky is the limit for her.
Yeah, she's so well-rounded, just so athletic, but she's a competitor, and so she's going in for every rebound. She's looking more aggressively on defense to jump in the passing lanes and get steals with that, and so it's just been fun to watch her develop. She's in a brand new role, different from last year, and she's really starting to fall into that and feel comfortable with it, and so I think we're only going to continue to see great things from her.
Hannah Clark, head coach of the Comets. They have Parker's Prairie coming in for a Little 8 Conference girls basketball matchup tonight. Also last night at the Kennedy Secondary School pool, the Otter swimming and diving team got back into action as they've been off for a while, and they had the Alexandria Cardinals in town. And the Cardinals won the duel 95-85, but there were some highlights. Randy Hansen, the head coach of the Otters, was excited to see the 200 medley and 200 freestyle relay teams turn in their best times of the year. He also had an opportunity to have a number of different guys swim different events, which is always a good thing. And first place finishers for the Otters were Matthew Toole in the 50 free, Reese Hansen in the 100 fly, Landon Vadova in the 500 freestyle, and then the relay teams that we told you about, the 200 free and the 200 medley relay teams also in great performance mode last night with those season best times. Well, the Minnesota Gopher men's basketball team back in action last night in Big Ten play. In fact, they traveled to Michigan to take on the Wolverines. And what a night for the Gophers. Mike Mitchell led 5 players in double figures with 18 points. Dawson Garcia had a double-double with 13 points and 12 rebounds. Elijah Hawkins, who leads the nation with 7.8 assists per game, got his 7 assists last night, but he also made 4 of 5 threes and had a season-high 14 points. So great night for Hawkins. Farrell Payne came off the bench and added 12 points and 8 rebounds as Minnesota wins 73-71. They are now 11-3 overall, 2-1 in Big Ten play. They will host the Maryland Terrapins at 4:30 on Sunday afternoon at Williams Arena. Timberwolves are in action tonight in Houston, taking on the Rockets. The Wolves trying to end that 2-game losing skid as they became the last NBA team to lose back-to-back games this season. They don't want to make it 3 losses in a row. Also, the Minnesota Wild are struggling. Injuries have really taken their toll on this team, as the Wild have lost 4 in a row, including a 4-1 loss to Tampa Bay last night. Goalie Philip Gustafson, defenseman Jonas Brodin and Jared Spurgeon, forwards Marcus Foligno, Kirill Kaprizov, Vinny Lettieri, and Matt Zuccarello were all unavailable, and it showed. They just didn't have the bodies out there, and the productive guys, all 3 captains were out with injuries. So they'll try to get things back together tomorrow night when they take on Columbus in Columbus, Ohio. And Dalvin Cook, the former Viking running back who was released by the New York Jets, has signed a contract with the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are the AFC's #1 playoff seed and earned a first-round bye in the playoffs, so they have time to evaluate the 4-time Pro Bowl running back over the next 2 weeks before Baltimore's divisional round game, either on January 20th or 21st. And after stepping away from his current franchise to deal with his mental health, guard Ricky Rubio, the former Timberwolves player, has announced he's ending his 12-year NBA career. And he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers recently. They have agreed on a contract buyout, the move which covers the $6.1 million left on this year's contract and $6.4 million for next year. gives the Cavaliers some financial relief and opens up a second spot on their roster. Rubio on social media making the announcement thanked all the teams he had played for in the NBA, including the Timberwolves, the Utah Jazz, the Phoenix Suns, and the Cavaliers. Lake Area Docks and Lifts, one of our sponsors, they have 5 locations in Minnesota, and they invite you to check out their boat show booths at the Minneapolis Convention Center and the Fargo Dome this month. The boat show discount promotion is in effect now, and you can save money before spring with Lake Area Docks and Lifts.
Lake Area Docks and Lifts, more than just docks and lifts. Lake Area Docks and Lifts.
And that'll do it for our podcast today. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday. Remember, we're going to have a very special feature podcast, a 2-part feature podcast on the 2000-2001 Lady Spartans National Championship basketball team. That will debut on our podcast sites on Wednesday of next week. It was a great time catching up with all the players and coaches from that championship team. It'll be an audio and video presentation, and I think you'll enjoy it a lot. So we'll look forward to visiting with you again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, and thanks for visiting us.
You've been listening to The Sports Moment with Craig Olson. Sponsored by Lake Area Docks and Lifts. Produced by Sunroom Lab. Music by Blue Red Roses. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and stay tuned for the first sports memory episode featuring the 2000-2001 Lady Spartan National Championship basketball team. Coming out January 10th.